Hello and welcome to SKTV News. You're watching Afternoon English News with me, Suchitra Rajkumari. We'll have the headlines first. Home Minister Govindas Konthaujam assures review of charges and possible release of arrested Arambai Tengol volunteers. Sit-in protests in several areas of Manipur demanding immediate and unconditional release of arrested Arambai Tengol volunteers. Committee on Tribal Unity COTU withdraws National Highway number 2 and National Highway number 37 blockade after reaching understanding with government authorities. Tensions erupt in Tilipati area after residents allegedly assault executive magistrate during eviction drive, removes 5 structures in anti-encroachment operations. And Chief Minister Yumnam Khemchan inaugurates 3-day workshop on reforms in schools education of Manipur. Now let's take a look at the news in detail. Home Minister Govindas Konthaujam asserted that the government will review whether the cases against the 3 Arambai Tengol volunteers can be dropped. He was responding to a query raised by SKTV regarding the widespread public protest against the recent arrests of 3 Arambai Tengol volunteers on the sidelines of a function at Uripok Bachaspati Maninglekai. Speaking further, the Home Minister clarified that the arrests were not limited to the Arambai Tengol volunteers but included everyone involved in various NIA cases. While acknowledging the role of Arambai Tengol in defending lives and property during the height of the crisis, Govindas suggested letting the law take its course regarding serious crimes. However, he added that the government will examine the specific cases under which the volunteers were arrested, after which the Chief Minister will consult with the Union Home Minister to discuss if the charges can be dropped.
Arambai Tengol gi miloi phab gi thapam tharak pase sida am paksana mayam se sit in taro kana khong chamchal lakpa mokoi phabi ganu haibagi asigi matana kai thambi
keno ne subna gi Arambai Tengol khatadi phaba nate dana akoina phari si ma gi hana NIA da case lairam kholam hekta thira case laitaba mi di phaba oide ba adu boy khoi case laiba aduga loina community am khakta gi nate hana samna har kan okhul da Bengur taugi ba khot ki ba ka ma'am yauri dana ko adu hujik so khoi operation left ma phang khodi maksida chingere ya sing sida adu we khoi yaring khai Arambai Tengol ge khoi cha sing ga khoi wari sana gani sanaraga yam henna mara lairam ba mi sing dudi aidi rule of law leibak sida sanari ba ain dogi matung in bata bane khoi madu khoi follow taw ta bane ba adu yaring khai khoi restaurant taw na ba yaring khai ma khoi sing sina khoi gi matam amada loghi ba daita khoi gi community asige adu khoi na kaw ba su yade aduna khoi tanare hairaga makhoi gi leirami ba casing se kadai bhawwa kopi ba ya ba leiba ge habido khoi honorable chief minister ga khoi tanaraga union home minister ga pau phaunaraga ba khoi yana ba sinjar na kan hona jari.
Now, mass protests erupted across several parts of Manipur demanding immediate and unconditional release of detained Arambai Tengol members. Residents of Sanjenbam staged a sit-in protest on Monday against the arrest of Arambai Tengol members. The protest was jointly organized by local Maira Paibis and Soyo Sanjenbam Club. Speaking at the protest, Sanjenbam Maira Paibi President Haurokcham Ongbi Pasot demanded unconditional release of the detained youths. She stated that the state government failed to protect the land during the conflict, following which volunteers of Arambai Tengol risked their lives to defend Manipur's territorial integrity. The president questioned why forces are targeting and arresting volunteers who have already returned home to their normal livelihoods. The protesters warned the government of intense agitations if the arrested Arambai Tengol members are not released immediately.
Arambai Pabagi, Tabaksem, Kutak Lepiu, Makata, Tabirakanu, Arambai Hibasi, Akogi Isazing, Irang Yaubagi, the Makta, Akoina, Mama, Bigana, Kutsamna, Duna, Ukakibani, Aduga Mokona Pabakula, Governor, Saka Yanaduna, Kusinabala Zagarabani, Akoi Atuba Matamda, Arambai Tadopiu, Arambai Tadok Tabata, Akoisagi and Akan Kongan Janjanduna, Mama, Bika, Kwang the Kanki Setanduna, Akoi Lepalate and Atama and the Late and Sanjangani.
Now, large number of Mairapais staged massive protest today at Chairel Mangjil under Kumbi Assembly constituency. The agitation was launched against the arrest of Arambai Tengol members by combined security forces. Now, hundreds of women from neighboring areas including Laingobi, Khoijuman-Tabi, Kulakpat, Chairel Laingang-Tabi, Chandon Pokpi, Thawal Tabi and Pombikhok joined the demonstration. The protesters shouted slogans demanding immediate and unconditional release of the detained youths. They also challenged the authorities, stating that security forces should arrest the mothers instead of targeting their children. Now, speaking during the protest, Mairapaibi leader T.H. Jamini strongly criticized the government and state forces for failing to control the violence that erupted on May 3rd of 2023. She stated that local youth and Arambai Tengol members stepped up to defend their villages only because the authorities failed to protect innocent citizens. Jamini further highlighted that the mothers had recently convinced the youth to surrender their weapons following assurances of peace and safety from the governor of Manipur. Now, expressing deep anger over the subsequent arrests, she warned that women would launch much more intense agitations if the detained youths are not freed immediately without any conditions.
Kulai su yautraba misam oina lejarba isa sing phabiri base daita amata yautana isa sing thadok piro karigumba isa sing thadok pira oido bo leragadi mama oibe ekhoi su phajan biyo ekhoi su siresu sijarage chanusan jail manungda koi thambiro asam wan len dok sarokodi ekhoi isa sing matung ilaga khoi su jail da lejarage
Now, spearheaded by Singjamay Apunba Mairapaibi Lup, demonstrators formed massive human chains and shouted slogans condemning the government's action. Protesters expressed deep anger over the arrests, stating that these youths had risked their lives to defend communities during attacks by armed Kuki militants. They heavily criticized security forces, alleging that personnel refused to protect civilians during the crisis under the pretext of not having orders to act. The protesters warned that targeting community volunteers would only fuel public resentment and strongly urged authorities to release the detainees immediately to prevent further escalation.
미상기 본시 간나부 헌나키바 아람바이 땡골기 이사싱 파바 마마 오이비 코니 소기야 야자닝게 마코이부 아투바 마탐다 간디산 아마다 야우다나 아람바이 땡골기 이사싱 아시나 쿠키 나코 테러리스키 마쿠타기 아코기 람다 마시부 아코기 마이타이 싱 아시기 마트와이 싱제 간 기바니 욤 싱제 간 기바니 ngamkhai ase kan gibani aduga maramdamu kannabu honadraba maramdabu ngangnabu honagidraba matamdugi security force ngado buktabiyu makoi phabiyu makoi gi matakta akanba matik saba chaina pinabiyu haidna aikoi singjamai gi maira pabi singi maikai degi haijari.
Mairapaibi staged protest at Wangu parking Kaithel following the arrest of Arambai Tengol members by a joint security team, including the National Investigation Agency, NIA. Mairapaibis from Sagang, Wangu, Sandangkhong, Wangu Halup Makha Laikai, Sanasam Laikai, and Wangu Nauda Khong joined the agitation to demand immediate and unconditional release of the detainees. Speaking at the rally, Mairapaibi leader Loitongbom Sumati stated that village volunteers had previously surrendered their weapons under a government agreement, promising they would not be detained. Condemning the current arrest of these volunteers, she warned the authorities that the women would launch intense forms of agitation if the detainees are not freed instantly.
Arambai gi lejari ba icha sing asigi Manipur pumada laiba arambai punamang na makutta pairamba kulai punamak sarkar gi magai da sinnakrabani matam du da angang sing sida kari gumba marala mata pira roi phaba punba tawroi haidana yanaki gi matungina aikoi mama sing aikoi yauna icha sing kulai sing do punamak sinnakrabani aduga ngasina karisu khangjadraba lala sida Isa sing na iriba kandaba yadi hena chongtho bagi damak te cha sing maran pibiraga phabi bundi dana tawbachidi laijari balamda masongi maira pai bisingna yamna penjade matung tarak pada su asumna tawbiganu.
Women folks staged a sit-in protest at the Kangla Sangom Sangmayay Laikai Community Hall today, demanding the immediate and unconditional release of 3 arrested Arambay Tengol volunteers. Protesters displayed placards denouncing the arrests and chanted slogans urging authorities to free the detainees without conditions. Committee on Tribal Unity, COTU, has lifted the emergency blockade along National Highway number 37 and National Highway number 2 with immediate effect after reportedly getting an assurance from Superintendent of Police, Kangpokpi District. In a press note issued today, COTU maintained that agreement was reached on condition that responsibility for security of Kukizo villagers in Kangpokpi District shall rest on SP Kangpokpi and village volunteers will be withdrawn from such responsibility. SP Kangpokpi will be held responsible for untoward incidents or failure to protect Kuki villages. Further, COTU also maintained that SP Kangpokpi has also assured to provide security for safe movement of essential commodities in Laimakong area, Tuilang IT Road, Kangchup area, Bungpu area, and other affected areas within Kangpokpi. COTU also demanded the arrest of all perpetrators involved in the killing of 3 pastors and 12 civilians. Earlier, tensions flared along National Highway number 37 in Kangpokpi District after confrontation broke out between Kukizo protesters, enforcing an emergency highway shutdown and security forces deployed at New Kaitel Manbi. The shutdown, called by Kuki civil society organizations, entered its 2nd day amid protests against selective security operations in Kukizo villages. At least 3 people were reportedly injured during the clash. Large crowds gathered on the Imphal-Jiribam highway, restricting vehicular movement and demanding immediate halt to the ongoing operations. According to local sources, the situation turned volatile when security personnel moved to disperse the protesters and clear the highway using tear gas, smoke bombs, blank firing, and other crowd control measures. Meanwhile, Kuki Inpi Southwest Sadar Hills has condemned the alleged forceful dispersal of peaceful protesters during a public shutdown. It claimed that security forces used tear gas, blank rounds, and lathi charges, resulting in serious injuries to at least 3 people. The organization said the shutdown was held to protest what it described as discriminatory combing operations targeting the Kuki community and accused the government of failing to address their grievances. The organization also alleged that ongoing communal tensions were triggered by NSC and IM and its proxy, the ZUF Kamsan faction, warning that agitation would continue until those responsible are brought to justice and accountability is ensured. Now, on the other hand, hundreds of Kuki-Zo people, mostly women, staged midnight protest in Gangpokpi on Sunday, alleging that security operations were being carried out selectively against their community. Despite bad weather, the protesters gathered at the SP's office and marched along National Highway number 2 to the DC's office. They raised slogans demanding equal justice and impartial investigations into all unresolved killings. Addressing the gathering, the protesters questioned why several major murder cases remain unsolved while security operations continue. They cited the killings of church leaders, Kuki-Zo civilians, Naga individuals, and David Thiek. The women said they support the rule of law but oppose what they see as unequal enforcement. The protest ended peacefully, with participants demanding fair investigation and equal protection for all communities.
Our security operations being carried out selectively while so many unresolved killings remain without justice. We want to know why the killers of 3 church leaders are still at large, why those responsible for the killing of 14 Kuki-Zo civilians have not been identified and brought to justice, why the perpetrators behind the killing of 6 Naga individuals remain unknown. We are not here to oppose the law, we are here to demand its equal application.
Tensions erupted in the Tilipati area after local residents reportedly assaulted an executive magistrate during an eviction drive carried out by the Imphal East District Administration. The incident began when a team of the district administration, under the supervision of Poronpad SDO and accompanied by security forces, arrived to demolish unauthorized shops built on public land. Local residents quickly gathered to oppose the operations, which led to a heated altercation between the two sides. The situation turned violent when the crowd allegedly began pelting stones at the district administration officials and the excavators used for the demolition. During the chaos, some individuals reportedly assaulted the executive magistrate. Wangkai constituency MLA Thangjam Arun later arrived at the scene and attempted to calm the angry crowd. Despite the heavy resistance, the district administration team successfully demolished 5 unauthorized shops built on state land under tight security. Following the eviction, a large number of local residents took to the streets in protest and marched towards Lok Bhavan to submit a representation to the governor. However, security forces intercepted the demonstrators at North AOC, preventing them from proceeding any further. Now, Chief Minister Yumnam Khimchan inaugurated a 3-day workshop on reforms in schools education in Manipur, which is being organized by Vidya Bharati Shiksha Vikas Samiti Manipur under the aegis of Department of Education S. Chief Secretary Puneet Kumar Goel, MLA Nishikant Sapam, former President of Vidya Bharati Akhil Bharatiya Shiksha Sansthan New Delhi, D. Ramakrishna Rao, President of Vidya Bharati Akhil Bharatiya Shiksha Sansthan, Professor Maibam Chaurajit, along with other eminent persons attended the program, which was held at City Convention Center today. Speaking in the program, Chief Minister Yumnam Khimchan said the workshop is being organized as part of National Education Policy NEP 2020 with the vision to make India a developed nation by the year 2047. While expressing concern on unrest situation and frequent band and shutdowns, Chief Minister Kim Chan maintained that efforts are being made to compensate for lost school hours owing to unrest situation in the state. Chief Minister Kim Chan also appealed government employees to work with diligence and dedication to ensure effective implementation of government's work.
2047 विकसित भारत से मालयमदा पृथ्वीदा ख्वाइदगी खुमांग सापटबा कंट्री अमा बिनबा होनबदा एजुकेशन सिला लवदो थोगांग सिंदु रिकमेंडेशन नि 2020 रिकमेंडेशन तौलिबसिस among them singdana belabsi say class 5 ho mari mala tanda class level talo haisi generally we songa da class 5 how tamako tanda English the thiba sede course ama course sipa bunabo bodal lai but art kan de bida ar ai malum da tami ko taragadi agam skill knowledge do develop the word thugani ga afni aduna se sibiwa workshop sila matin sogo pangane hari thaja ko tunjari maya litana ban blockade crisis maya amale biluna samjana angan singi samal bo seon hum tabodo seon amale yesali adagi thama sumna adagi drong mawi randa with office news tasan hangna idaro to mara morganda department kudingi hangzedu office tabi hai kar wala bushi rawi hai adu thabasi makeup do morganda no suti to and thajage we are equally responsible sarkar ta madad thado ya bode sarkar praja employee punam koi sela komam sela le paganda koi national education policy se mai pang sanyo de punam matek pang si.
The Governor Ajay Kumar Bhalla today interacted with 5 internally displaced IDP students and their guardians at Lok Bhavan and encouraged them to make the best use of newly extended educational opportunities. The students from More and Churachandpur are currently residing in relief camps in Imphal. They have been selected for fully sponsored education up to class 10 at the Information Technology Institute for the Tribes of India Doon Sanskriti School, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. The initiative ensures free education for selected students, including accommodation, food, uniforms, and other essential facilities. Their travel expenses from Imphal to Dehradun will be borne by the Assam Rifles under the aegis of IJR South. Officials said the students were chosen from among children living in various relief camps in Imphal. The governor, while interacting with them, lauded the initiative and urged the students to focus on their studies and take full advantage of the opportunity provided to them. Now, Finance Secretary of Campaign for Just and Fair Delimitation, Sunil Karam, has accused state government of suppressing the demands of indigenous people to identify illegal immigrants in the state while focusing on saving the government. Sunil Karam was speaking on the sidelines of discussion program on demand of census after NRC exercise in Manipur, which was organized by Hauraibi Apunbamera Paibi and Hauraibi Apunbalup at Hauraibi Kangjaibung Community Hall today. Now, speaking further, Sunil Karam expressed dissatisfaction on government for failing to address the concern of indigenous communities in the state. He added that government has ignored the demands to identify and deport illegal immigrants in Manipur. Further, he asserted that census cannot be conducted until illegal immigrants are identified first. He also asserted that it is right time to wake up the leaders from slumber for the sake of future generations. Further, Sunil also sought support from public in their efforts to create an ideal future for the coming generations.
Chief Minister ahum leiragadi leibak se pai marami takut kuki na taliba separate administration do ikut mereka di makna do ko yawa kuki ngaktu di Tuhan meleja lagi naga yawa ade mereka yawa ade mereka kamu yawa ade kuki kata nak senja de ayo ko mai action ibo diti hari besin se kuki na Tuhan meleja amat pilih naga na Tuhan meleja apa 사천 넘은 때요나 하이드라서 또 보이고 보시는 답들이 그 미니스터 어흥래 연방체 딱딱 아이들이 약속다와 아주가 약속되는 내가 아이들이 하고 한번 시작하래요. 남동시대 내용시제 남자들 가봐가다 이 사람 아이들을 노래 이 시민들 둘을 노래해요. 아주는 말마다 나가면 연사 기계나 이거 불러보다 기계로이 아이들이 따로 semua betul kena tak apa-apa nasi gelega sini. Kami kan lagi sih kadang-kadang baik sekat tuduh ya pak. Ekor dah tunggu pulang ke dalam sih dalam orang orang. Ekor gelega asal lagi asal tahu ngai lagi masih ni. Bila juga aku tahu kalau itu asal dia seperti kenapa aku pun tahu jadi. Jadi dia seperti betul betul. Aku tahu jadi ini mesti saya ada ni. अभी मतलब का मसीह है जो कहीं लेता है जिसके तो मैं नहीं है आइए कभी नहीं आपको नहीं है वो है कि मैं नहीं आपको ना अभी भी एग्जांपल हमारा मसीह है जो लाल होगा सबसे पहले ऑपरेशनल ना कि दिया वो नहीं है ए आप मरजा दिया वो तो नहीं जाने के लाल हो तो नहीं हो अब फिर बात ये क्या ये क्या आप सकते एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बता दिया उनको मैं आपसे नहीं दूंगा क्योंकि नेशनल आर्मी ये नहीं होगा एडवा आर्मी सिस्टम को भी नाम खयाल करते हैं और खयाल तो और बात सिस्टम ना है असल में दादा मैं माइक ही बोल रहा हूं.
Now, in a historic milestone for Manipur's healthcare sector, a 3D tomosynthesis digital mammography machine was officially inaugurated and made operational today at the Department of Radio Diagnosis, RIMS, Lampilpad. The inaugural ceremony was graced by RIMS Director Professor G. Sunil Kumar Sharma, Medical Superintendent Professor N. Sanjeev Singh, Dean of Academics Professor L. Rajesh, and Head of the Department of Radio Diagnosis Professor S. Subhash Chandra. Now, speaking at the event, Director Sunil Kumar described the installation as a proud moment for the Institute. He highlighted that RIMS is only the third medical center in the entire Northeast region and the first outside of Assam to house this cutting-edge technology. He expressed strong confidence that the advanced machine will significantly enhance the early detection of breast cancer, improve the accuracy of biopsy tests, and elevate overall patient care. He also noted that the facility will serve as an invaluable training tool for RIMS medical students. Now, urging all stakeholders to ensure that the public receives the maximum benefit from this facility, the director announced that the patients can access screening on this high-end machine for a highly subsidized fee of just 300 rupees. The director also expressed his gratitude to the Government of India for consistently equipping RIMS with advanced technology and providing vital financial and administrative assistance.
The device that we inaugurated today is first of its kind in our state, in Manipur, the 3D. And also I've been informed this is the third equipment in the entire Northeast, two being at Assam, Guwahati, one at Baruach Cancer Institute, one at GMC, Guwahati. So we are third, but for the entire Northeast, for the state of Manipur, we are having this for the first time. It is going to immensely improve the diagnosis of the breast cancer. Important thing that we can see in this modern world, we talk about like the 3D. So this particular mammography is going to have a CT scan-like image. They will immensely help in proper diagnosis. Beyond that, it's going to reduce sort of the radiation also, and this will also help in a better sort of biopsy and the other further management.
advantage superiority X-ray CT scan X-ray radiation nida harmful way na sigi radiation dose mammography na sigi na 3 dimension do related to like rather sigi na chap ma na 1 1.3 or 1.2 mana radiation to tani the Mongolgi factor every day sees a point chance of around 300 upon the D it will become more than 1,500.
It is time for a short break. We'll be right back.
Lalabati sumthokpa mosalabati nalhanba mipum khudimaki haungasan aihak jeni khurai laipak sembada mipum khudimaksu saruk yamina si haituna paujeng khara puduna lakchari voter list singbo tasengna thamnaba eligible oiba voter singdamak yahannaba ECI na special intensive revision haibati SIR 2026 haure Mei tarik kuntra dagina June tarik kunipan phawbada BLO yumthong khutingi lakani makhoina piramba enumeration form mention biraga BLO da sinabiyu enumeration form submit tawidrabadi voter list da ming yarok loi akupa marol gidama BLO da hangbiyu natraga 1950 da call tawiyu I am in RU
Shuti nataba numitsinda specialist amagi manakta chatpa matam sangdabara Haujikti Babina Hospital na tabak tauba lalolitik tauba madi tabak sinba miyoy singidamak special weekend Sunday OPD clinic hangdok sari.
Nomaijing khudingi adongi khudong chagadaba matam yengbiraga ayuki pung mapaldagi nungtilgi pung mari faubagi manungda medicine ENT cardiology urology gastroenterology PMR surgery chest medicine amadi pediatrics ki experience leiraba specialist sing tanabiyu.
Subsidized tauba specialist consultation fee khangatlaba ahanba investigation amadi procedure da chada taragi discount priority registration fast track appointment amadi mapam amatta da tongan ba analayengi kudong jaba singi kanaba lobiyu
adongi achinba matamda ayet papidana adongi hakchang fana thambiyu Babina Hospital gi special weekend Sunday OPD clinic ta lingsin birao
appointment lognaba kidamak amadi ayen buwapam singi damak 69093 90666 ta call tawirao
mating leiba layeng fanghanjariba Babina Hospital hanadagi hena khudong chaba pizari
Welcome back. Community Allegiance for Drug Use and Appropriate Practice CADAP President Takelambam Rajiv asserted that recovering drug users need special government attention to prevent relapse and ensure self-reliance. He was speaking at a felicitation ceremony for recovering individuals held at Jawaharlal Nehru Manipur Dance Academy, JNMDA, located inside DM University campus. The event, held on the theme Installing Own Startup, was jointly organized by Social Welfare Department, JNMDA, CADAP, MAMTA, HIMC, Vision of Hope, Spiritual Harbor, Awakening Foundation, Anoba Itinfam, Time to Change, and Yaipokpa. Recovering individuals who have been clean for at least 2 years and running their own businesses were honored on the occasion. Rajiv stressed that unemployment is a primary cause of relapse, which is a challenge faced by recovering users. He noted that addiction destroys a person's income, trust, relationships, and family support, making the journey to rebuild life alone highly challenging. He added that if government departments offer targeted aid to help them stand on their feet, addiction treatment and rehabilitation will become far more successful. Several top officials attended the event, including Social Welfare Director Sheikh Abdul Hakim, JNMDA Director Bukrambab Bilash, Fishery Director P. Putti Pulen, Veterinary Deputy Director P. Pramod, Humangmai Director Gopen Moses, and community leader R.K. Tikin.
Drug user itself, more using the Masamasagi skill learn later. As skill to the enhanced to be with the never the Kali. I miss Atola Nina, I give a Pisha and Bayaba, Canolambima, Chizage Haraga, the minor Torga, coffee shop hang Zudumiawi, with the Gimana Kitanga Tumjanjaba, Dumba Peshaduna, Magi Tamna, the minor Magi startups. Masana togjarapani adubo sigi struggle mayam je tasengna yamna successful oiraga akogi brands ka hangana khotana tobra haidi adu huji makide akogi communities da laiba kano jinis da gidi hangdi like tabubo akoi government gi side gi and then scheme mayam ama Music policy da option ba option ba sigumba livelihood program ke ka du da me amje kagumba sigum me amje implement of budra aura ga de hena drug user gi communities da relapse ti prevent of ya ba adum bagi kano pambai mazu oya kadra na kale.
Thoubal District State Pensioners Union staged a sit-in protest at Thoubal Atokbong Kaithil today as part of the statewide agitation by Manipur government employees and pensioners pressing for various long-pending demands. Addressing the media, Union President Binod Kumar Likmabam stated that sit-in protest was held due to the government's failure to implement memorandums submitted earlier. Now, highlighting their grievances, Binod Kumar pointed out a stark 18% disparity in dearness allowance, dearness relief, DADR. He noted that Manipur state employees receive only 42% compared to the 60% central rate. He demanded immediate parity alongside speedy implementation of 8th Pay Commission and restoration of old pension system, OPS. The union further demanded end to the post-retirement re-engagement of staff, retention of previously enjoyed earned leave benefits, and immediate restoration of peace in Manipur. The union strongly urged the government to hike the current outdated monthly medical allowance from 1,000 rupees to a range of 3,000 to 5,000 rupees to meet the rising healthcare costs of the elderly pensioners. Now, while expressing hope that the Manipur government will favorably address their grievances, Binod Kumar warned that they would be compelled to launch a series of intense agitations across the state if their demands remain unfulfilled.
Masi ha putting the Quina Zerli Bakenoji, Yam Ware Adubo, Yam Bado, Madulone Yam the Do, avoid the reimbursement of Bagi, Putung Sabasun Lady, Gotoring Ematamda, Lupachama Pangam Nupato Nupido, Mado, Habakotara and Nangueraba, Matam Dadi, Lupayang Kai, the Gihena, Hangrabaneva, Lupachamana. Silamba Mapondo, the Jing of Lupayang Kaina, Shin and Nabatoneva, Masida Tinari Bawabate, Sakar Sinakumbi, Aduna, Sigumba Mayam Sik and Notoraga Quena, Yaraga de Aquegi, and Nosing Sekaram, Tang, Pitong Navato Biu.
The prize distribution ceremony for the first Kundrakbam and Lamla Assembly Constituency Level Mathematics Competition 2026 was held today at Waiton Maninglaikai Community Hall. The main competition was conducted earlier on May 31st, organized by Challengers Youth of Kundrakbam Assembly Constituency. Eminent social scientist Dr. Dhanabir Laishram, social activist Nongthongbam Rajendro alias Boy, and President of Challengers Youth of Kundrakbam Assembly Constituency James Laisang Them attended as presidium members. During the event, prizes were distributed to more than 80 successful students from various schools across both Kundrakbam and Lamla Assembly constituencies. Organizers highlighted that the initiative aims to promote competitive spirit among students and prepare them to face upcoming academic and life challenges. Speakers emphasized the vital role of parents in guiding their children on the right path to help build a strong nation. Malem Ima Kanbalup MIKL Kanglaipak celebrated its third Foundation Day on June 20 with a simple ceremony held at the Senior Citizens Home at Kongba Nongthongbom Lekay. MIKL President Ima Yumnam Kamalini Laima, Andok President Luangcha Chingkhay, MIKL Advisor Oinam Bimola Laima, and the Home Superintendent Chanambam Joy Chandra attended the event. In a press statement issued, the organization extended essential humanitarian aid to the elderly inmates, distributing vital relief materials. The Presidium members expressed deep concern over the prevailing situation in Manipur and collectively offered prayers to the Almighty for swift restoration of peace, unity, and communal harmony. Now, moving on to sports. Spain and Egypt have managed their first win in ongoing FIFA World Cup, which is being co-hosted by Mexico, USA, and Canada. In a Group H match that was played last night, Spain defeated Saudi Arabia by 4-0. In the match that was played at Atlanta Stadium, Spain dominated the game right from the start and were able to find the opening goal in just 10th minute when Lamine Yamal found the net. Now later, Michael scored 2 goals, and the last goal of Spain came in the form of own goal at 49th minute. Meanwhile, Iran held Belgium in goalless draw in a Group G match, and Cape Verde and Uruguay played out a 2-2 draw in Group H encounter. In a Group G match, Egypt beat New Zealand 3-1 and picked up 3 points. In the next matches, France will play Iraq at 2:30 a.m. tomorrow, while Norway faces Senegal at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow, and Jordan will play Algeria at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. Drosa in FC Hengang has emerged as the winner of the second state-level 9-men A-side Village Open Football Tournament. Dorsa in FC Hengang defeated Chajing FC 2-0 in the final match that was played yesterday. Speaking in the closing ceremony, Chief Minister Yumnam Khemchand asserted that sports can bring peace and unity. He added that Manipur, which is known for its sporting culture, was given the first sports university in India under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Meanwhile, the winner, Dorsa in FC Hengang, received 1 lakh rupees cash prize along with medals and trophies, while runner-up Chajing FC received 70,000 rupees cash prize along with medals and trophy.
Sanaba haibasi litheregi Olympic hawrkibagi warida sanaroi mayam ama tuan country dagi laaga khanaba chanaba delorana India da sun national championship mo taw matamda tuan ba community mayam laaga tinaba loina state championship mo taw matamda tuan ba community sing participate tawdra punna sanami nadra aduki matik integration da usina porpada aduki matik mangjin thanba gamba sports ni लोइना भारत की प्रधानमंत्री ना मणिपुर की साधारण सिंगसी की क्वालिटी ये कांदा मान क्रेडिबिलिटी सी ये कांदा मणिपुर दा यान हान बगोइना नेशनल स्पोर्ट्स यूनिवर्सिटी खुदो लान बिदना तो उम्बा वजी हवरे दुगा टोटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर से यंदा की सली बसे ये सिदा लोशनगरी हाईवे की रिपोर्ट पानी.
And finally, we have the weather report. According to ICAR Regional Center Lamphelpat, Manipur recorded a maximum temperature of 29.6 degrees Celsius, while the minimum temperature was recorded at 22.5 degrees Celsius. The maximum relative humidity was measured to be 89% in the morning and 65% in the evening. Manipur received 5.4 millimeters of rainfall in the past 24 hours. Now, before we wrap up, let's take a quick look at the headlines once again. Home Minister Govindas Konthaujam assures review of charges and possible release of arrested Arambay Tengol volunteers. Sit-in protests in several areas of Manipur demanding immediate and unconditional release of arrested Arambay Tengol volunteers. Committee on Tribal Unity COTU withdraws National Highway number 2 and 37 blockade after reaching understanding with government authorities. Tensions erupt in Tilipati area after residents allegedly assault executive magistrate during eviction drive. Removes 5 structures in anti-encroachment operation. And Chief Minister Yumnam Khemchand inaugurates 3-day workshop on reforms in schools education of Manipur. That is all the news we have for now. More news coming up at 5. Keep watching SKTV News.